Hello and welcome to the beginner's guide to 2XKO. So 2XKO is now in closed beta and it's sort of out in that this closed beta will never end until the game's actually out. So since there's going to be a lot of people at it over the duration of this beta and you want to know how to play the game, I figured let's do the beginner's video where I just kind of go over how everything in the game works. So this will probably be a little bit longer. There'll be timestamps, so skip forward to whatever sections of the game make sense for you. And hey, leave a like for timestamps. Thank you very much. But yeah, so the game is pretty mechanically in-depth. There's a lot to go over here, to say the least. So let's start with just sort of the basics before everything else. So let's start with the absolute basics. Hey, this is a 2D fighter, and 2XKO, hey, tags, assist, all that kind of stuff, big part of the game. You are playing both characters and you'll use both characters a lot, unless you pick very specific fuses, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, in a lot of ways, it's kind of the basic 2D fighter stuff. This is a back to block game, so hold back, you block. And hold back, you'll block mids and overheads. So overheads could be things like jumping attacks, or moves just keyed to hit overhead. So those you got to stand block, and hold down back, you crouch block, and you'll block all mids and lows. So lows are basically most crouching attacks. A little bit fighting game 101, but hey, there's the basics. And keeping with the basics, so our attack buttons, we have lights, we have mediums, and we have heavies. And this is the kind of game where you can chain moves together. So you can go light into medium, medium into heavy, and of course, light, medium, heavy, sort of combos 101. Now keep in mind though, you can only go from weaker to stronger. You cannot go from stronger to weaker. So I can go light into medium, but I cannot go medium into light. Doesn't work that way. So you have to work your way upwards up the chain. Just to note though, you can go into crouching into the same strength either way. So we can start with a crouching, go into standing, or go for a standing into a crouching, however you want to do it for the most part. So you go like light, light, medium, medium, something like that. Now this is the game with easy inputs, as we call it. There is no quarter circle forwards, half circle forwards, dragon punch motions, or anything like that. We have two dedicated special move buttons here. That's special 1 and special 2. And they give you a variety of different special moves just depending on what you press and a direction. So here, special 1 for Jinx is the chain gun. It's also holdable. And say if I were to hit down and special 1, I'll instead get an exploding monkey. If I hit forward in special 1, I'll get flame chompers. If I hit back in special 1, I'll get an upwards angle to the chain gun shot, right? So basically the two special move buttons are special moves in and of themselves. And depending on which direction you press, you might get a different move. So there's no need to know any special move motions at all. And of course, hey, it's a fighting game. We have super moves, right? So super moves are just done by hitting one of your special buttons and any attack button. So special 1 and attack button will be one level 1 super. And then it'll just work out that way. Special 2 and any attack button will be your other level 1 super. And if you hit both specials together, that's your big cinematic level 3 super, which does like the most damage and is cool and basic fighting game stuff. One thing to note here about the super moves though, when you start a fight, you'll start with 1 meter for both of your two characters. And you cannot save those meters between rounds. So if you do not spend that meter right away, you will lose it at the end of the round. So you are highly incentivized to spend all that meter as soon as possible. Besides all that, there's some basic fighting game movement. Like if you double tap backwards, you can backdash. You double tap forwards, you can run. And that's mostly the same for all characters. Even big boys like Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank will run. Maybe he won't run as fast as some of the other characters, but he can still run. There's also a dash macro if you want to use it. You can bind a button just to be dashed without having to do the movements themselves, which can lead to pretty quick backdashes if you just kind of spam the button. And there's jumping, and that's mostly the only universal besides that in super jumps. Super jump, just tap down then up before you jump. And to note here, a jump and a super jump have different animations. So like this is running jump, this is running super jump for Jinx. So you can see, you can easily tell which is which, right? So super jump just jumps higher. But things like, say, a double jump or air dashes, that is character specific. So take Ari. Ari has the traditional versus game air dashes. So she can dash in the air and very useful in pretty much every way you think it would be useful. Like I can jump in, air dash over your head, hit you with a cross up, all that kind of stuff, right? That's great, but that's really kind of just for her, like the traditional air dash you might see in some other fighting games. Echo has an air hop, It's not quite as long distance as Ari's air dash, but he can get some extra distance while jumping, so that's something. And he cannot do it going backwards, so it's only a forward deal. So like Ari has better air movement than say Echo does. And take someone like Braum. Funnily enough, Braum can't do any of this air dash nonsense. He's too big, right? So he can still super jump, he can still do regular jump, he can still run, he can backdash, right? He has all that stuff. But when it comes to special advanced air movement, or just special movement in general, that's going to be more of a character-to-character thing. So you have to pay attention to what your character is capable of. Now, that's some of the basic stuff. Now, let's get into the basics of offense. Now, to talk some of the basics of offense, of course, there is throws in the game. If someone's being too defensive, you block too much, you throw them, right? And everyone has a basic throw. Some people have fancier throws, but they're not too common. Now, the thing here that's actually beyond just the usual fighting game 101 of throws is a forward throw in particular is always a hard knockdown. Back throws are not hard knockdowns. We'll talk more on the defensive properties, but you can tech roll a back throw. You cannot tech roll a forward throw. And because it's a hard knockdown, you can also OTG. You can hit them off the ground. So that means besides the base throw, you can kind of sneak in an extra little hit so you can get a little bit more damage, right? And it's character to character. Some characters are better at it than others. But some characters, if they can get you with an OTG, they can take you to the cleaners and get some pretty appreciable extra damage. So the forward throw is a lot more than just the usual fighting game basic throw. It's actually potentially a tool for combo ability and can get you some real damage on the board. And also, because this is, a tag game, there is air throws as well. And air throws have very fast startup. So if you're looking to beat someone air to air, this is usually going to be one of your better options. And keep in mind, air throw, there's only one kind of air throw, even if it is forward or back. And the air throw will also be a hard knockdown. So if you're so inclined, you can use it to kind of scoop people up and get that extra damage. Another thing to note about offense is we talked about, there's light, medium, heavy attacks, right? And they're all strong and all good in their own ways. Heavy attacks specifically, they allow you to hold them. You see here, Braum's turning red and he's holding the move. And then in this particular case, the enemy bounces after he hits him. That's unique to Braum specifically. Everyone has their own specific properties when holding heavy. Some might bounce like the big boys. Others might cause a knockdown state here like Jinx. But besides the fact, okay, if it's holding the move, big red, special knock state, you expect, okay, does it do more damage? And at a minimum, yeah, like stand heavy for Jinx, 80 damage. Charge heavy, 90. So it's not a lot of damage, but here's where this really matters. Like if you get the hit, great. You're probably getting some kind of combo at minimum, right? No matter what kind of knockdown it is, just because the fact they're not able to defend themselves anymore. But all the heavies that are charged, you can dash cancel them. So I can do this, dash cancel it, and then like do this, dash cancel it, and like I can get multiple hits going. And that's very important specifically on block. So regular stand heavy here for Jinx is -11 on block. Charge heavy is 0 on block. That's nice. But charge heavy, dash canceled, is +31 on block. So if they stand still long enough to block one of these and you dash cancel it, it is your turn. So this is a way to sneak in extra turns, sneak in extra offense. Because if they're too passive, you don't have to worry about like trying to mix them up or trying to throw them. You just make them block. And if you make them block and dash cancel, then it's your turn no matter what. You have such incredible advantage frames over them, they have no choice but to guess. Because like any button they press is automatically going to lose when you have such incredible advantage over them if you dash cancel that hit. And keep in mind as well, many jumping heavy attacks are also chargeable in the same manner. Also, another thing about charge heavy attacks is for some characters, it might actually change the attack itself. So Alawi charge heavy is this guy here, where she'll hit you with the big steel ball. However, if you hold charge heavy, you can see here it has a bit of a different animation, right? And that will matter because like from here, it completely whiffs. However, if you charge it, it won't. It actually almost doubles the range of the move effectively. So that's something to keep in mind. It's more than just the properties we already talked about. Like the move itself kind of fundamentally changes for Alawi if you charge the move. So something to keep in mind. There's also what we call command normals. So these aren't the usual special moves. They're under unique moves for every character. And these can be very, very strong because they'll add a lot to your character's flavor. This is something you need to know because they are unique for every character. So like say here, Darius has down forward medium, down forward heavy. Darius down forward medium is a fairly decently fast overhead. So this must be blocked standing. And down forward heavy is a very long range low that'll knock people down. Like, he has lows, like down medium to low, right? But that don't quite got the range of this guy. Down forward heavy has like almost double the range of his down medium. So when it comes to the character, it's more than just learning the special moves. The command normals, the unique attacks are very, very important. And it's more than just a direction. Like down forward, medium for Echo is kind of like a stock overhead, which is really good for him. Especially because he's a character that can combo off his own overhead without even needing the assist of your other partner. So it's really cool like that, right? But some characters also have unique attacks that are based off of running. So it's not just like a direction and a button. It's like you have to be running to do it. And a lot of these can be pretty cool because they have unique properties. Like say Blitzcrank's running heavy. The big old like butt stomp here, right? And that butt stomp also can off the ground and hit people who are grounded. So you can use this and hit people sometimes in ways you wouldn't otherwise get, right? So it's just really important. You got to make sure you use all the offense that's given to you. Another thing to talk about is down heavy. So I'll talk more about combo stuff in the combo section, but just I think it's important to get it out of the way here. So down heavy is like the universal launcher. So you do any hits and you do down heavy, you will spike them into the air. And from there, you can cancel into a jump and then keep your offense going. So this is very important for combo structure. Like just about anything you could think of, you're going to be needing to use that in combo structure. So just keep in mind here, whatever your hits you're going for, if you're kind of close, just go with the down heavy, you pop them up, you can jump right after and just keep attack, attack, attack. Now let's talk some of the basics of defense, because defense is very important in any fighting game, right? And we'll give you an easy one to work with. Hey, this is a fighting game. People are going to jump at you, right? Like unavoidable, as predictable as the seasons, right? And the thing is, you know, depending on what buttons you press, you might get beat. And you don't want to get beat. Good thing we have down heavy. So down heavy, even though we talked about it earlier, like it's your combo launcher move, right? It is also universally for every character in the game, a dedicated anti-air attack. So if you know they're going to jump at you, you can just down heavy them. And their only recourse is they had to like jump and block, because you are allowed to air block, right? But if they try to attack, it is just simply invincible to aerial attacks. Once again here, I lose, but if I do down heavy, I win. So if people jump too much, down heavy is always the answer. This is effectively a one-button dragon punch, if you will, for everybody in the game. Now, of course, you know, there's other situations here. So let's give you some options you have on blocking defense. So you got to block, everyone's got to block, but you know, nobody wants to block. That's always kind of the thing. Nobody actually wants to block, right? So you got a few things in your favor in this game in particular. So if you're blocking and you hit your partner, your tag assist, your partner will come in and shove the enemy away from you. So it'll make them miss their attacks and just give you some breathing room to work with. And depending on how you make them whiff, you actually might be able to punish their next button press they're going for, right? There is a weakness though, multiple weaknesses. One, your partner is still on the screen for a little bit afterwards. So if they get hit, like they're going to get hit. And also will use up the assist timer. So you can't just keep doing this. You can only use this when you could otherwise normally call an assist. So they're vulnerable to being hit for a little bit, and then it will trigger a timer. So this is not something you can just spam necessarily, although it is very strong. If you need some immediate breathing room right now, you can do it and then like try to take the offense to yourself. And besides that, there's this. Notice how I turned blue and kind of dashed away from the enemy. That's retreating guard. So this does not cost anything. This is free to do. So you can use the dash macro, or you can use like the button dashing light and medium together, like whatever wants to work for you, right? But you do this and you simply backdash away from them. So that seems really strong and it's completely free. Like I can do this multiple times per block string, as you can see here. And like I seem to block everything. So there's like seemingly no weakness and it's free. So what's the downside, right? Well, the downside is while you do get the stand block, while you're doing this, it is stand block only. So say I want to do this and the enemy's just going berserk on me again, right? Oh, that was no good. What happened there? So since it's stand block only, I cannot block lows while I'm doing the retreating guard. And if you get sniped by a low, you'll get hit. And you can see here, there's a little bit of a time stop effect to let the enemy know they got the hit so they can keep comboing you after the fact. So it is strong defensively. It's a little bit of a get off me tool, but it is completely vulnerable to lows. And even if it does work, as you know, if it works, that's great. It will still put you that much closer to the corner. As you know, you're moving backwards and being in the corner is never a good thing. But yeah, we have the push block here with our assist. If you're willing to burn your assist, you can push the enemy away from you very far, or you can push yourself far away, closer to the corner, completely for free with a few weaknesses. So defensively, those are both quite strong. There's also a parry mechanic, just like, you know, some of your favorite fighting games of all time. And that's either light and heavy together, or you can bind it to its own button press. And parry, hey, the game will let you know, don't worry, right? And if you parry the enemy, then you can just get free hits, get a combo, like whatever you want to do. So parry is quite strong to say the least. Like, it's only open for a very specific window. So if you do it too early, you'll still get bopped. There's an element of timing to this. You do too early, get bopped. So you need to be pretty specific. And there's regular parry and low parry. So just hold down and parry to low parry. Low parry is only for lows. It won't even get mids. You gotta basically use regular parry for just about everything else. So the majority of the attacks that are coming your way, you're gonna do the standing parry. Standing parry will also get things like jumping attacks. So if you know the jumping attack's coming, you can just parry it, they'll fly off you, get a free combo. So again here, low parry, only for lows. Standing parry for everything else. And there is a cost associated with this. Parry is very strong, right? So parry takes a full super meter to do. That's a lot. But if you successfully parry, you're fully refunded on top of getting the damage you're going to get from whatever combo. So that's really strong that way. But if you whiff the parry, not only are you going to get hit in the head, you're also going to lose a full meter. And meter is pretty precious in this game. You don't want to lose a full meter. So only use it if you know you got it. Now, let's move on to one of the most important aspects of the game, the part where it's a team game. So let's talk about tags and assist. So tags, well, tags have their own dedicated button. So if you hit tag and literally nothing else, you'll get one of the two assists. And if you hit back and tag, then you'll get the other assist. Every character has 2 assists and a special third assist if you're down a character. So say Jinx here, the forward assist or neutral assist is Chompers, and the back assist is the Rocket. If you happen to be down a character, you can hit down a tag and you'll get a special kind of assist, which is a little bit of a comeback mechanic, if you will. So it's very powerful. So this will take a meter, and when they're dead, they don't spend their meter any other way, so you might as well, right? So this could be an all-new unique move, or it could be one of their existing super moves. So think of it like a little bit of a comeback mechanic. So you can just do this while you're doing your other stuff. And when you call an assist, you can be doing just about any old thing. Like you can be moving, attacking. As long as you're just not actively blocking or getting hit, you can generally call your assist in. And of course, assists can be very handy while making combos and all sorts of other things, right? Like you'll need them just to borrow their moves, do your combos, get more. They're useful for everything under the sun. And of course, what about tags? Well, tags are also built into the assists. So whenever you call an assist, they come on screen naturally. And if you hit the tag button again, well, there they are. They just happen to be like, you got them. End of story, right? And one of the fun things is, while you can call your assist and then tag out after the fact, and they'll do like a cool little pose. And as long as they're on screen, that's when you hit tag. If they leave screen, it's too late, right? So if you get them before they finish their pose, you can tag in. But you don't have to let them finish their move. You can just call them and hit tag again immediately and tag in basically instantaneously. Now, you don't even have to do that. You can hold tag and you'll just swap on the spot. But say you're in the middle of a combo or a block string. Say whatever assist you have isn't conducive for your combos. You can still just do whatever you're going to do, tag them out immediately, and just keep the combo going like that way. You do not need to wait for them to do their move in any way, shape, or form. So you can hold the button to do like the hard tag, if you will, but just keep in mind at any point when your teammate is on the screen, with rare exceptions, if they're on the screen before they do the move, after they do the move, whatever it is, as long as they're on the screen, you can tag them. Just to give you an example of one of those exceptions, because it's probably going to be one of the first things you're thinking about if you're a little bit of a cheater like me. So say Blitzcrank has the big command grab, right? So you want your dude on screen some way, somehow, and then while you're doing the command grab, if you whiff, you know, you don't want to whiff, right? But if you were to whiff, well, then you tag out, right? So the game will not let you do that while you're whiffing the command grab, but won't let you tag out. So you gotta deal with the consequences of your misplay. You also cannot call your assist at all either while you're whiffing a command grab. So certain moves that have like extra long recovery, you're not allowed to call your assist or tag out if your assist is already on screen during that recovery, because they want you to take the punish. There's no get out of jail free on that move. Now, another thing about the tag button is if you hit down and the tag button while you're doing a combo, you'll do a launcher. It's like down and heavy, except it's a launcher that explicitly tags into your partner. So like if I go like regular, light, medium, heavy, and jump, sure, that's whatever. But if I do that light, medium, heavy, and then I tag in my partner, I'm slightly higher up in the air, get a bit more air mobility. The hits on the K on the combo launcher is a bit higher, so you can get some guaranteed follow-ups. So it's good in a lot of ways, not the least of which is it switches to your partner. And one of the big benefits of switching your partner, besides just, you know, hey, we're doing combos, we're getting cool stuff going on, right? Is when you take damage, some of that damage you take will be gray health. And that health is recoverable health. Notice here, Ari is now healing while she's tagged out. So on top of all the synergy you get between, you know, tagging in and out and doing all various offense, the person who is tagged out will recover their health. So that's very strong. That keeps you in the game longer. So if someone has a good and appreciable amount of gray health, you want them tagged out so you can get that health back. So it's pretty basic, I guess, in the end, but just keep in mind the essence of tagging and assist is very much at the core of what this game is. It puts at least the 2 in 2XKO. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk recovery. So there's a couple forms of recovery in this game, both for positioning and active defense. So at some point, you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get knocked down. It's unavoidable, right? That's part of being a fighting game. The thing is, you have some agency in that. So you don't just gotta get up on the spot, unless it's a hard knockdown. If it's a hard knockdown, tough luck. But while you're getting up, you can hold forward, or you can hold backwards on most knockdowns to roll, well, forwards or backwards, and you'll gain space in that direction. So if someone's pressuring you, and you know they're just going to be in your face, you can just hold forward, roll forward, and then boom, like say it right there, you're out of the corner. Or if you roll backwards, you can gain space more to mid-screen. You have some agency in that. Also, when you're getting knocked down, when you wake up, if you just hold one of your 2 special buttons, it doesn't matter which one's which, you will wake up with that attack right there. That's effectively the wake up invincible reversal. So sure, you can dragon punch if you will, in like normal fighting game terms. So hold either of your 2 special buttons, and this move is just simply a get off me move. It's invincible, they cannot be hit through it, and if it connects on the enemy, it will knock them back, as you can see. So you don't necessarily just gotta wake up and block, or just deal with other mix-ups coming your way. If you know they're just gonna press buttons and just attack, just hold one of the 2 special buttons, as wake up, boom, get off me. Now, of course, there's counterplay to that as well. It's what we would call not terribly safe on block. If they know you're going to do it and they just block it, then they can beat you up after the fact, right? But between the fact you can choose what direction to roll in, as long as it's not a hard knockdown, and that you have an invincible wake-up attack that gets the opponent off your back, you have some pretty good options on recovery in this game. And once again, these are universal. Every character in the game has access to them. Now, let's talk break and fury break. You might notice here, break is right below your health bar. It's a pretty important part of the game. What is it? It's the get off me move. And I don't mean get off me like, say, push block or retreating guard like we talked about in defensive sections. I mean, it's you're getting hit, get off me. This is combo breaker, basically. All you got to do is hit tag and one of your special move buttons, or you can have its own dedicated macro as well, and it will break the combo and send them flying. Important thing to keep in mind, though, it has to hit them to work. It's not just guaranteed. So if they did something like very small, or if you called it at the wrong time and they're already done, they start blocking, right there, it'll wall bounce you. So if you do it right timing, you send them away. But if you give them too much time to recover, they're going to block, and then they're going to combo you even harder than they already were. So it's a bit more advanced, but generally this is the, you're hitting me? Okay, get off me. Let's reset this whole situation. But you might notice here, you know, you don't start with it right away, and when you use it, it takes a while to rebuild. It ain't instantaneous. This isn't free to do. Now, one of the things that actually builds it is getting hit. So the more you get hit, the more the bar will build. So if you're getting beat up again, then that's one thing that'll get you closer to your next break meter. Yeah, so very powerful. It's get out of jail most of the time, but it's something you rarely get to use. That's break, though. Now, you could also use break in combos, although why would you, right? Well, The thing is, there's a thing called Fury Break that's a little bit different than regular break. Fury Break happens once one of your characters is dead. So Fury Break takes over regular break. So once the character is dead, now Fury takes over break. It's red instead, right? Now, one of the things for Fury Break compared to regular break to help it become a comeback mechanic is, in that example here where we're comboing, now it becomes a wall bouncer. It bounces them off the wall instead of just knocking them around, so it can actually help extend your combos. So now you can potentially get combos you otherwise would never get. So that's very powerful. Also, once you're in the Fury Break, you can start doing fun things. Like we talked about retreating guard, how you can backdash cancel when you're on defense, right? How about we can regular cancel any hit on offense? So yes, that will take up some of your meter, but once your Fury is live, you can basically just kind of keep extending combos as long as you have Fury meter. All you gotta do is dash. There's nothing other than just hit buttons, dash. Although the Fury has to be live. So needless to say, easy combo structure, right? Like you don't got to think too hard about that kind of stuff. And you can cancel out of a lot of things. So say I randomly hit you with Darius's big old air spin, right? So, oh, I got the hit, I can bounce you. Then I can do it again, and then I can dash cancel it. And you start putting some of this stuff together, because after that dash cancel, I can keep moving, right? So then I can go for my big cinematic level 3, which will also pick you up off the ground, and just get hell of damage. Like that hurt off just being randomly hit off this guy. Another big bonus for Fury is while you're in Fury, you just do more damage. So like here, stand heavy, 90 damage. If I'm in Fury, 117 damage. So you just get a sizable damage buff to everything you're doing, on top of being able to like wall bounce people from combos, being able to dash cancel anything, and that's on block 2, by the way. That's not just on hit. So if you just want it to be your turn forever and forever and forever and forever, you can just keep dash can. Like as long as you got the meter, this is basically the comeback mechanic. That and the more specialized assist that we talked about in an earlier section. These are your 2 comeback mechanics. So Fury is extra strong, basically is what I'm trying to say. It can let you get a lot of things going on. And don't get me wrong, like it's still regular break as well. So if I get hit, I can still do it the same get off me style move. So it's still good in that way. It's just better in every other possible aspect. Now I'm just doing more damage. You have the dash cancels, all that kind of stuff. Like you're scary when you're in Fury mode. Now let's talk one of the most important things in the game. I'm talking something as important as just picking your character. And that is picking your fuse. So your characters play the way the characters play, but your fuse determines how you're gonna play. So as of right now in this closed beta, there's currently 5 fuses. And each of these gives you a different way to play the game entirely. So let me talk to you about all 5. So the first of these we're gonna talk about is 2x assist, and it's actually as easy as it sounds. So normally under the rules of the game, you call your assist, and that's about it. They'll go away and they'll start the timer, right? And if you tag them before they finish their animation, hey, well, you tag out. That's great. So the difference here is this. When you call the assist before they leave, you can call an assist again. And then same deal, and they do their thing and you can leave. So you can do this, wait a second, call them again, wait a second, and tag out. So it basically lets you put out twice as many assists as someone who does not have this fuse. And that's gigantic. And admittedly, it is stronger with some characters than others, like say Jinx. Jinx has the only traditional projectile. So that's really strong in a lot of ways, to say the least. Or she can set up her trap and then toss a projectile and just control a lot of the screen. Or say Blitz. Blitz can reach out and grab you, right? So that can help out a lot in say combo structure. Because you can just kind of reach out and grab you and just keep looping things, right? So that's really strong. Like Blitz is one of the easiest combo extenders in the game because you can just launch grab, launch grab twice instead of once, right? So easy combo extender. And at bare minimum, it'll just get you a lot more pressure during your block strings because you can do whatever assist you're going to do twice. So There's nothing else to it, really. That's it. You just get to do your assist twice. It's overwhelmingly powerful. Even if you do double assist, by the way, it's not like it extends the timeout. Like the recovery time of your assist is the same as it always is. So it's really, really strong with zero downside. But of course, all the other ones have a lot of upsides as well. So let's talk about those. Now, our next fuse is double down. And on its face, it's also almost as dirt simple as 2x assist. Double down lets you go from super into super. Really that easy, right? So at bare minimum, it'll let you get a lot more damage at the end of a combo when you're going from one super into another. Because I can just do my combo, do my super, then tag in my other guy, do his super. Done. Okay, sure. Like that's really good. That is really, really good. However, some supers have, you know, some fun synergies together that are more than just do one super, do the next super, do damage. Like, let me give you an example here of Alawi and Jinx. So all I'm going to do here is like the world's most basic corner combo. I'm just going to spike them up, spike them down, and then I'm going to do her S2 super, which brings up the tentacles. And that doesn't combo necessarily in and of itself. However, with Jinx, I can do this, call her immediately. It'll get them before they hit the ground, and then look at that. Boom, boom, boom. That all hits. But they're still active, right? I can do just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Same idea, but okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to beam. And I'm going to beam. And then I'm going to beam. And then, oh, like all of a sudden, that just kind of works out, don't it? Like, I can get way more supers than I normally should because I've just created this really synergistic pairing between two characters. Because that's the name of the game, folks, right? You want to build your team and you want that synergy. And this is one example of, I don't even know how many. There's going to be so many examples of stuff like this, right? So, once again, yes, you can just like do super, call in the partner, they do their next super. That on its most base level, you can do that. But there's a lot of very synergistic situations where you can get a lot more than the base value out of it. And on top of that, it lets you break the rules just a little bit. This fuse, if you already have your tag partner on screen, will let you tag into them while a super is ongoing. And then all of a sudden, you can get a lot of things you normally couldn't get. Right? So that combo right there, like, let me give you a real world example here. So we get chain into rocket, and then like that would be a good mid-screen hit confirm. It's not the worst, right? But then if I know I got these first two hits, what I can do is call an Alawi, then go for my super, and then tag into her. And then all of a sudden, okay, we're doing this, we're gonna miss, but I can tag into her, and then I can add a lot more sass to it. So once again, it's more than just super and the super. You can create situations where your partner's already on screen, then do your super, tag into your partner, and then keep comboing after the fact, and then end with their own particular super. And also, on top of super and super, it will let you go into a super into a level 3. So in certain situations, it'll just get like absolutely titanic damage. Because then we got that, which is all right. But then we get to level 3, and level 3 supers scale very well. Like a very far away mid-screen hit confirm can do like 75% of the opponent's life if you happen to have the meters, right? So this one's all about the meter. In this current build in the game, when it's round 1 fight, you just start the round, you'll always start with 1 meter for both of your characters. So even if you get the very first hit, at bare minimum, you can always go super into super, let alone all the other tricks. So this is a pretty alright fuse. If you're confused at bare minimum, it's a good go-to fuse. It's almost hard to go wrong. Like 2x assist really depends on the character because certain characters scale better with 2x assist. This mostly just kind of works for everybody. Now let's get tricky. Freestyle is advanced. 2x assist and double down, they're mostly what they're advertised on paper with maybe a little bit more extra fun stuff you can figure out. Freestyle is you got to start thinking. You can't just pick this one. So freestyle is, okay, you do the thing, you can tag, right? But, oh, you can tag back. That's it in a nutshell. So when your character comes in and you tag in, Before your other partner leaves, you can tag back into the other one. So one of the things this means out of the gate is situations where you can sandwich the opponent between you and your partner get a lot more dangerous, because you can kind of just keep ping-ponging your opponent and yourself back between you two while you keep going for lows, overheads, or throws, or whatever. It just becomes scary. You can also use this to create unique combo situations, because once again, you get to tag twice. So, I don't know if that's necessarily the most practical, right? But it is something you can do only in freestyle. So that's one thing of many. Unique combos, unique pressure. A lot of this is going to be sandwiching the opponent between you and your assist, and then you creating situations that just any other fuse in the game can't do, because the pressure is going to be extra intense when they're very literally sandwiched between your two characters. This is definitely the highest skill cap of all the fuses, because the biggest thing holding it back, or the biggest thing in its favor, is your imagination and how you're going to break the game with it. Now here's a very unique fuse, Sidekick. So 2xKO is playable up to 4 players. And I feel this fuse is tailor-made with that in mind. As this is almost in the League of Legends terms, this is the support fuse, if you will. So you might notice Ari looks kind of dead. She's not dead, but she's not playable. Only Braum is playable right now. Ari, she don't get to come into this. So if you're playing with multiple players, ideally the normal player who's good at fighting games picks the guy who's in the screen, and the person who's learning fighting games is the support, and they're the sidekick. So what is sidekick? So sidekick is only that point character is playable, done. You have assists, however, you cannot tag out, ever. So you have the benefit of having the assists, but that is it. You do not get to tag out, you do not get anything involving tags or any of the benefits of tags like longer combos or whatever. Nothing to do with tags. Now conversely, also since you don't get the tag, it means you don't get 2 characters. That means, you know, you're sort of at a disadvantage health-wise. So you do get bonus health. And also when your health is at a critical amount, you'll get more defense as well. So you're not just losing out big time here. And you might notice you got one big shared meter. So you can do tag supers. So you're allowed to do that. Just when you do the tag super, you default back to the one singular playable character. Also, you'll start with 2 meters instead of 1 for both characters, just to, you know, make that fair. It's still the same amount of meter, and you can still do some of the things, but you have effectively double down for free, although you can't do a lot of the more advanced things double down could do. Only the most basic super and the super. And also on the super to super note, the tag super cannot do the level 3. So you don't get the extra advanced big combo. But yeah, so that's kind of long and short of it, other than one thing we'll talk about in a second. So you play one character, the character gets health and defensive bonuses to make up for only one character. You still get to call the assists, just they never actually come into play. And you get an aspect to double down for free, which is nice, super into super, which will give you some better combos, so you have some better offensive capability. But you lose tagging, all the gimmicks with tagging, all the pressure with tagging. This is definitely made for, although you don't have to, but it is definitely, I think, designed for 2-player. Now, here's a big deal. When you are getting hit, it's going to happen. You're going to get comboed. Either the support player or yourself if you're playing actually solo. But what you can do is when you're getting hit, you might see sometimes here some blue particle effects. If you hit a button press as you're getting hit, you will successfully take ever so slightly less damage. It's a fairly strict timing, but while you're getting hit, as you're hitting buttons, you'll take less damage. So that means, too, your bonus health will effectively translate to more health yet, because you're taking less damage than you otherwise normally would. But you're effectively just getting a little bit of health back after the hit, if you're timing it correctly. So once again, you just press buttons as you're being hit. So it's very interactive for the player 2, because player 2 won't be able to tag in, but they'll call assists, they can do tag supers, and when you're being hit, they can hit buttons while you're being hit to help you out, player 1, right? So, to me, by design, meant to be for duos. You can still play it single player, but if you're looking for the ultimate single player fuse, that's the next one. Now enter Juggernaut. Now that probably sounds like a big deal. It is a big deal. So this is a fuse of extreme strengths and extreme weaknesses. So out of the gate, you're completely solo. Like there is no such thing as assists, let alone tags. There's some unique traits though, like, hey, wait, what was that, right? So if you do your tag move here that like tags into your partner, you instead knock the opponent out and force their partner in, a snapback. So that's unique to Juggernaut. Only Juggernaut gets to do that. But yeah, you lose assists. Assists are a huge part of the game. Assists are a big part of your offense, either in controlling neutral, pressure, or just doing like everything about the game. You need assists and tags, and you don't get to do any of it. Yes, you can snap the opponent back, which is unique, but that's it. Now, to make up for this massive downside, you will, just like Sidekick, get more health. So it'll take more hits to actually like put you under. Also, when you're at critical health, you'll gain bonus defense, so it's even harder to put you down. And like Sidekick, you'll start at 2 supers instead of 1 super, so that's nice. Also, like Sidekick, you will be able to self-double down. So you don't need double down at all, you just do it yourself, right? So I can go into a level 1, into another level 1 by myself. Don't need my partner. And that's great, because some characters have great self-synergy, like Darius. The one level 1 easily goes into the other level 1. I think Darius is one of the best examples of this. But that's not all. You can also go level 1 into your level 3, unlike Sidekick. So this gives you a lot of extra damage potential that Sidekick don't get. A lot of damage, as you can see. So self-double down. We have snapback. We start with 2 meters. That's good. But you notice here, notice it says Fury, not Break. You start in Fury, not in Break. So for every other fuse, if you want Fury, like someone's got to die. You're a solo character. You just start in Fury. That means your offensive potential is maximized out of the gate. So you can get the big bounces. You can get the Fury damage boost. And then you can do a super into another super with that damage boost. And then a basic nothing combo can do 80% damage. Like, that's nothing. I didn't even think about that. That was 80%. So, like, your damage potential in this is potentially the highest in the game in most real-world situations. Not like super god combos with 2x assist or double down or whatever, freestyle. Like, you just hit dude. Oh, I hit you. I'm going to hit you hard. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to dash it. And, like, boom. And then, so, like, it's just going to hurt. And it's going to hurt bad. So if you don't want to engage with this whole assist, tag, like all that stuff, this is the fuse for you. You lose out on stuff, but you do get very pronounced upsides as well. Now, let's talk some of the basics of combos. This is a fighting game, so we're going to need our combos, right? That's just how it works. And there's a wide variety of them, and no two people are rarely going to have the exact same combo. Because the free-formedness of the combo structure in this game is one of the selling points. But just for the absolute baby basics, hey, once again, as we talked about, like this is light, medium, heavy kind of game. Some of the basic stuffs will be light, medium, heavy, launch, move, maybe someone kind of has a special move, and then smack them down to the ground, right? And you can use assist to rejuggle them. Some can keep combos quite grounded before launch. Like there's a lot of things you can do. Tag out, like there's a myriad of things to do, but I want to give you some of the rules of combo structure. So one of the most important rules is sort of baked into the game rules is there's 3 kinds of combo extenders besides just doing your basic combo stuff. There is the wall bounce. And the wall bounce is pretty self-explanatory. You hit them with something, like Darius shoulder is a good example, and they'll bounce off the wall. And while they're doing that, you can just kind of juggle and just keep combos going. There is the tumble knockdown, where the opponent will roll on the ground, and while they're rolling, they are able to be hit. So, quick example here, while they're tumbling, I'm going to call my Jinx assist, and the rocket can bop them, because they still count as hittable. So, mid-screen, it can allow for extensions. The really scary part about tumbles is in the corner. If you tumble someone in the corner, they're going to hit the wall and slump instead. And from there, you can just kind of hit them again. So think of it like a wall bounce, but without the theatrics of the wall bounce, right? Because there's no more room for them to tumble. And depending on distances, they can tumble into the wall, right? So it's not just purely in the corner. They can reach the wall from the tumble. So tumbles are an extender in and of themselves as well. And if it hits the corner, then it can get extra scary. And then there's the plain old ground bounce. Fighting game classic. You bounce them off the ground, and then you hit them again. So with these 3 rules, ground bounce, wall bounce, and tumble, there's a very specific thing to note about them. If you do 2 of them in the same combo's immediately over. So ground bounce, wall bounce, tumble, they're all strong. However, the rule is you get to do 1, that's it. So say I'll do a ground bounce here, right? I'm going to follow with my tumble attack. You see here, limit, strike, combo over. Watch the same here. Wall bounce, ground bounce, limit, strike, combo over. So that sucks. You don't want your combo to be over early, right? But there is a very pronounced benefit to getting limit strike. Maybe combo's over. Like you don't get the super, you don't get to do nothing, right? Combo's over, and there's no hard knockdowns possible by the way. Used to be actually, older builds, not anymore. But the profound benefit is this. Look at my super meter when I do this. Okay, nothing, not much, not much. What? Boo! I just gained like half a bar for that. So the benefit is here for you definitively ending your combo without much benefit to yourself is you'll get a massive reward in meter. And not only that. So same deal here. Break is mostly empty here. So boom. Limit. We gain a massive chunk of break on top of gaining a massive chunk of our super meter. So keep that in mind. Wall bounces, ground bounces, and tumbles all help extend your combos. And you'll want to figure out combo routes with them. But sometimes it's worth catching them out as you get big meter bonuses for them. Another thing to note is hit stun decay. So like many other games of this type, the longer the combo goes, the harder it is to keep going. There is one thing you can do to circumvent that though, however, and that is your tag launcher. So your tag launcher basically means no matter how long the combo was before it, you'll have a minimum of hits on the hit. Like the next hit's basically a guarantee no matter how long the combo is. So what I'm going to do here is an elaborately overlong combo that shouldn't go as long as it should, yet it will, thanks to the hard tag launcher. So let's look at this. And there we go. So I kind of broke a lot of rules doing that combo, but the only reason, well, part of the reason it went as long as it did was because specifically of that tag launcher, because no matter how long or complex the combo is beforehand, that'll give you a minimum of hit stun decay, and you can just always get a bigger ender from there. But yes, notice the combo. I tried to pick something a bit more advanced, at least what I know right now in this early time. I broke a lot of rules. Like I did 2 supers for 2 characters. You might notice I'm on 2x assist. That wasn't double down or anything that could double down. But due to the way I made the timing work, I managed to super, keep comboing after super, tag out to the other character, and then do their super as well. The game will let you do a lot of tricky and advanced things like that. And I also started that combo with a light. If you start a combo with a light, your combos are going to scale harder, by the way. And it still did all that much damage. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of possibilities. That's just one example of, I don't even know how many. Play around with it yourself. You'll find some cool stuff. And that's your beginner's guide for the closed beta of 2XKO. When it's like actual launch time, I'll probably remake this. Make it a bit more in depth than it is, but we'll see, especially because things are going to change. So this guide might be out of date by the time this actually comes out. But yeah, this should be more than enough to get your feet in the water and just help you understand what's going on. This can be a complex game, but then again, it can also be as easy as you want to make it. If you want to pick like Blitzcrank Juggernaut, it's not going to be a terribly complex game. But if you want to be like Freestyle Echo Yasuo, yeah, this game's going to be pretty nuts with a very high skill ceiling. It's up for you to see how far you want to go. But yeah, once again, I'm just here to give you a hang on the game. So hopefully this video did exactly that. And if it did, hey, leave a like. Thank you very much. It's a longer video. It took a while to make. And that's basically it for me. So that's it for me. That's it for the video. That's it for everything. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some 2XKO.